I'm taking the braces off the transom and getting ready to laminate it, but not before making a mistake that sets me back to square one. Lesson learned, and after a setback, I finally got it right. What's up guys, we're back on the Zebra Skiff. On the last video, we bonded the K-cell composite board to the transom. Today, I'm gonna take everything off, just inspect everything, see how everything held up. It's too late, there's nothing we can do now, but just see how everything looks. We got a fiberglass, we gotta fillet the rest of the bottom of the transom, and then we gotta laminate the entire transom. So far, I'm really happy. It seems like it's bulletproof. So let's get to it. I'm really happy with how this came out. This is already strong as, this thing is solid, solid, solid. Let's get to work. Now I'm gonna wipe down the transom with some acetone so we get our filleting in. I've taken some isophthalic resin, about 16 ounces, and I made a putty with chop strand mat. You don't want to be doing fillets with this, but there's a couple of spaces that I want to fill, and I want it to be structural. So I'm just filling in the holes, or the gaps, rather. I came in and roughed up the edges here, all the thicker, or all the bigger spots that are missing material. I filled it up with this structural putty. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make that radius all around. I'm gonna show you the product that we're gonna use. It's a new product from FGCI, a vinyl ester putty that's gonna be perfect for this. So here's that product. It's a vinyl ester putty, a radius putty. It's got the best vinyl ester resin, so it's really strong, to be used below the waterline, and it's easy to fare, and it's meant for gap filling, so, and for filleting. So this is the right product that you want to use. So let's open it up. There's a blue color. So once we mix it in with the red MK, we're going to get a nice purple color. That's interesting. This way. The extra. Looks a little messy, but we're gonna come in now. I'm gonna scoop up all the excess because we got a nice radius. We have a little weather window today in the afternoon. It might be a little bit too cold to laminate, but I'm gonna come in and sand all this stuff out. Got to get some of this water out of here, and we're gonna round these edges up, so when we laminate, we got something nice to roll over on. The filleting is complete. I sanded all the bottom parts, and now I'm gonna wipe all this down with acetone, and we still got to come in here and do this. I'm gonna start cutting out my pieces with the skin of the transom. This is the original template that we cut out the K-cell board, so we need it to be just a little bit bigger. Up here where it's gonna wrap over the transom, I'm gonna leave about 2 inches, and then I'm gonna do the same over here, about 2 inches. Then over here we're gonna do about 2 inches of glass on the bottom and on the sides. 2 inches all around. Then the next piece, 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches. So they'll be overlapping. We'll go from small, then the bigger one will go over, then the next one will go over. And you do that so if one fails, you still have the ones underneath. So let's go mark this out. All right, let's go cut this out and let's test fit it. Doing a project like this, get yourself a pair of these. Get yourself one of these. It'll be worth it. Your fingers will thank you. It's about 45 bucks. They have them at FGCI. You could call in and place an order for one of these. Use my code PFB10. This is a lifesaver. No cords, no nothing. It's got its own charger. It's fantastic. Let's go test this. I'm gonna leave this flat. We're gonna mark. So I wrote the number 1 backwards. All right, so this is perfect. I'm gonna make the rest of these guys. The top is gonna be the same when I cut these out, but this part will come over 2 inches, 4 inches, and so on and so forth, all the way up the sides. We'll get 5 layers of glass. We'll see if we do 5 or 6 layers of glass, but let's go cut those out. I'm gonna take this out, and then we're gonna bring it back and cut our next template. But piece number 2. I've laid out plastic trash bags. I have a couple 16-ounce containers ready with a low profile resin, low profile polyester resin, so that way I could just add my MEK as I go. I got my roller. You're gonna want a bigger roller than this. Unfortunately, this is all I got for today, but it's cold, so we're gonna have some working time with this. What I plan on doing is I'm going to give a hot coat to the board that's on the boat, and then I'm going to come back and laminate all the pieces here, and then go in, put in all those laminated pieces up on the transom, push out the air bubbles with my hand, and then that's how we're going to set it. So soak up the board. I've already wiped everything down with acetone. The K-cell board does soak up a little bit of some of the resin, so we want this to be nice and saturated. When we go lay down our fiberglass, there's a good bond and it doesn't pull from the fiberglass. One piece. All right, day 2 at the attempt of laminating the transom. So I tried last night. Unfortunately, it started to rain. I could only get 1 layer of fiberglass on here, so of course I had to come in today and I had to sand and scuff this up a little bit. So we came in with an 80 grit, and then I just cleaned it down with some acetone so it's nice and tacky and it's ready to receive the next layer of fiberglass. So we have 1 layer down, we got 4 more layers to go, and I got all my stuff ready. I'm gonna try to do this a little different. I originally wanted to lay out all the layers and laminate them, you know, wet them out and then put it on the boat. I'm gonna try 2 at a time because I think that might be easier. So let's go. I got my resin, I got my rollers, got a new one today. So let's get this going. There's a big heavy piece. It's not sticky. Screwed up. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done the 2 layers at a time. It doesn't work. Learn from my mistakes. I had to come in again and give this a nice grinding. I came in here and got some of the air bubbles that I found that I was able to grind out because of that crappy lamination that I did last. So learn from my mistakes. Don't do that. I have a better way of doing it. I'll show you what I'm gonna do. So I laid up my piece of fiberglass. What I did, I just laid it up here like this, and I made my relief cuts. So now everything will fold into place and I don't have to mess with it. And I'm gonna laminate it just like this while it's on here. I'm gonna flip it over, wet the underside. Once it's wet from the other side, lay it back down, flip it back over, and that's it. So let's get to work. I'm gonna fold this stuff up. You want to make sure you mix this stuff really well. It's the low profile resin. It gives us a good working time. also want to use a mask. We got a nice little breeze going, and we got a fan in the background. Blowing this stuff away. Yeah, this is much easier than the way I was doing it before, like a brute. Let's go ahead and wipe this out. You can use your glove hand too to help move this stuff around. And now let's come in with our roller and start busting some of these bubbles. I'm gonna let this tack up, and then we're gonna get the other layer ready. Once it's nice and tacky, we'll do the same thing. I'm out of resin. Thank God I didn't start up the next one, because that would have been bad. But we got 4. I'll have to finish this up the rest of the week, but it is what it is. This is what happens when you screw around and you waste a bunch of resin. Almost half a gallon I wasted on this thing. Luckily I was able to rip it off and didn't have to grind it off. So don't do what I did. Do it one layer at a time, as you should. We are on our final layer of glass. I made all the relief cuts, and this is ready. I've already sanded down and ground down, and I cleaned everything with acetone. Picked up some stuff from FGCI. I got a whole 5 gallons of resin. I've also gone ahead and made my laminates. I cut out the fiberglass for the stringers for the side supports that'll tie into the transom, so these will be ready. It's 3 layers on each side, so I'm going to laminate those as well. So let's get going. I can't stress how important it is to use a resin that's going to work for your application. You don't have much time to work with this stuff, but this low profile resin gives you a long working time of like 20 something minutes. You can't get the same out of a cheaper boatyard resin. It's not really meant for doing things like this. So you don't want it to cure before you have a chance to lay it up. The weather's nice today. It's not hot. Got a nice breeze. It's good to use a pan, because the pan is going to disperse the resin and you don't create that much heat, so you'll get a little bit longer working time when you disperse it like that. And this is the final layer. It's going to lock everything in together. This overlaps everything. Alright, now we're going to do the stringers. I'm just going to lay these suckers in here. Alright, we did the final layer. This part was a little bit too long, so I'm going to wait till it cures to grind some of that off. Came out pretty good. I got 3 layers here, 3 layers on this side, and I don't know if I have enough time today with light, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole here with a PVC tube that goes here, so any water gets in here, it'll drain, because there's no way for the water to go from side to side there. All right, so I got a 1-inch tip. I'm gonna do it right around here. I'm not gonna do it back here because this kind of goes up and the water pools right around there, so I'm gonna make a hole right there. Alright, we got our hole. Alright, I got my putty, and I'm going to use these 2 pieces of PVC I've scuffed up with 80 grit, and we're going to pack these in there in the holes, and that's what we're going to use to hold those in place. I'm running out of light and I'm running out of battery, but that's the gist of it. That's good. The transom part is for the most part complete. I came in last night and I installed these steep holes just to let the water run out. We're gonna come in and put a coat of gel coat, but before we do that, I gotta grind it, because since we did this yesterday, this fiberglass needs to be ground down before we can apply anything to it. So I'll save you the time from seeing that. I ground out everything on the transom. I'm only going to gel coat this back part. I'm not worried about over here where I'm going to put the bulkhead. So I'm just worried about this stuff. I want it to harden up and cure completely so I don't have to worry about it anymore. We'll do 2 coats, one without wax and one with wax. So that's basically it. I'm going to clean this up with some acetone and get this going. So we're getting ready to gel coat the transom. I have my exterior gel coat. This is without wax. I have my wax sanding aid solution over here. We're going to do that on the second coat. My MEK, my roller, and a pan here, and just a measuring cup. So we're going to do 1 coat without wax, and then we'll add wax to the final coat once it tacks up a little bit. And let's get going. Pour in here. It's going to be a little bit better than having it on here because it gets so hot that that's when it'll start curing. Just come in with a brush. All right, not too bad. Putting the final coat of gel coat, but this time we're going to add the sanding aid, the wax. You add 1 ounce per 16 ounces. That's about a capful. And then we're going to add the MEK, and that's going to let the gel coat fully cure and harden. Now I wiped this down with acetone because it tacked up, so we just finished laying all the stringers. So that's ready to go for the floor. If you guys want to see how I tore this transom apart, check this video out. And if you want to know about coring material and how to use it and when to use it and the different types, you're going to want to check this video out.